When you were in school, was there ever a teacher that you were encouraged to kill? You know, now that I think about that, do not answer that question. I won't use a number, and today we're looking at Assassination Classroom.
ところで、奴はどこだ？
それがさ、コロ先生クラスの花壇荒らしちゃったんだけど、そのお詫びとしてハンディキャップ暗殺大会を開催してるの。
ほら、お詫びのサービスですよ。こんなに身動きできない先生はめったにいませんよ。
どう、渚？完全に舐められてる。
これはもはや暗殺と呼べるのか。
でも待てよ、コロ先生の弱点からすると無駄
ですね、E組の諸君。このハンデをものともしないスピードの差、君たちが私を殺すなど夢のまた。
弱点メモ役に立つかも。どんどん書いていこう。
待って縄と食事が絡まってこんな時は少年だ。逃げやがった。ここまでは来られないでしょう。基本性能が違うんですよ。バーカあと少しだったのに明日出す宿題を2倍にします。姿勢逃げた。
Assassination Classroom. That name must conjure up all sorts of images, but unless you already know what this show is about, I can guarantee that that image is wrong. Our basic setup is that an octopus creature with unknown origins blows up the moon, then gets in contact with the Japanese government and sets up an agreement. If he gets to teach a class of students, he won't blow up the Earth until their graduation, and throughout the year he'll also teach them various ways to kill him. He is allowed to teach class 3E at a junior high that's rather oppressive towards its lower scoring students. After he provides a material that is fatal to him and the government appoints a special PE teacher and puts a bounty of 10 billion yen on his head, the end class dubs this super-powered octopus that can move at Mach 20 and is immune to most conventional methods of killing as koro-sensei. That's a pun on the Japanese words for unkillable and teacher, by the way. Like I said, probably not what you initially imagined. It's interesting to see a show that is in essence one really long battle against a single character. I mean, there are at times other obstacles that the class has to face, but attempting to kill Koro-sensei is the core of the show. That might make you assume that there's non-stop action in the show, and action is a constant possibility, but after it becomes clear that brute force isn't going to get the job done, a more tactical element gets introduced as well. This is where each character's traits, strengths, weaknesses, and interests become important, as those all affect the types of assassination attempts they try. There is a main character, and it's sort of weird that I haven't mentioned this yet, but it's Nagisa. I know, he's very cute, they address it, it's an actual large plot element later. Oh god, this show. He tends to be focused on, at least indirectly, and is often the narrator and takes various notes on what may or may not be valuable to killing Koro-sensei eventually. The somewhat sociopathic Karma and big boob-hating Kaede also have a bit more emphasis on them, but each member of the class does have their time to shine. Remember, this is a class for delinquents, and each student has a story as to show how or why they ended up in that class. There's character depth to all of them, and surprisingly, I found myself caring about every character. At least the teachers and students of E-Class. There are some scumbags too, mostly much more experienced assassins trying to claim the bounty, or the extreme principal and his sort of fucked up discrimination-based school. Something I found absolutely astounding in the show, and I have to praise the author of the manga, Yusui Matsui, and the anime crew for preserving this aspect of the story. Assassination Classroom tends to change gears very quickly. Sometimes within the span of a minute, it'll jump from action to comedy to an emotional moment, but it never feels out of place or off-putting. It all just fits. A lot of this has to do with the kind of character that koro-sensei is. He tends to mock assassination attempts that he views as uninspired or poorly executed, and he genuinely cares about the students and so tries to impart life lessons to them whenever he can. But these changes of tone aren't always centered on him, and still happen in scenes that he's not a part of. I've never seen tone changes handled in such a well-balanced and skillful way. Look, most everything I cover on this channel I genuinely think is worth viewing or playing or whatever, but this show I already hold on the level of other classic anime. It's a must-watch that is incredibly easy to recommend to pretty much anyone. I can easily compare it in quality to shows like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Gurren Lagann, Durarara, or Madoka Magica. Even if you think the concept sounds a bit odd, give it a chance. You won't regret it. Assassination Classroom has 22 episodes in its first season with a second season airing now. I'd give it at least 5 or 6 episodes to decide if you like it. That said, this has been I Won't Use a Number. If you like this video, you can subscribe and maybe share it with your friends. Keep loving what you love, and I'll see you next time with something else.